Okay, well, welcome to another Stepping Stone to AAC kickoff. This is the second Stepping Stone kickoff. We did a basic one 2 weeks ago and Christy led that. And tonight is kind of the next step in that stepping stone. And we will be talking about how to use present progressive ing. So my name is Brittany Toney, and I am a speech language pathologist and AAC consultant for PRC Saltillo. And my territory includes Southwest Ohio, Southeast Indiana, and parts of Northern Kentucky. And I will let Christy introduce herself.
Okay, I'm Christy Gallagher. I'm also a speech pathologist, and I live and work in Fort Worth, Texas. So I take anywhere from the west part of the DFW Metroplex all the way west to the El Paso area. And if you're familiar with Texas, that's a really, really big area. But I spend most of my time just here locally in Fort Worth. And I am also an AAC consultant with PRC Saltillo. Tonight, whenever you need the materials that you'll be using, you're going to go to, first of all, Shannon renamed herself, so she's here with us. We've got all of that. Then the next step is going to be to access your learning.
Thank you. It took me a minute to log in. I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem at all. We're glad that you're here.
Yes.
So the next step is going to be to go to the learning journey page where you logged in for the training, and there will be materials there that you can download and use. And Brittany, there's not ASHA CEUs, right?
That is correct. There are no ASHA CEUs for this course.
Okay. And so the next slide
that
show.
There's how to add. Okay, so let me show you where to find those materials if you are unfamiliar. So here is the Learning Journey site. And on this class, if you click on content, this is where you can find all of the materials that we're going to talk about tonight.
Perfect. All right, so we're going to pass it back over to Brittany so that she can talk with us about another kickoff and the topic that we're going to walk through this evening. After you attend this course, about 2 weeks from now, you'll receive a certificate of attendance, but it will be in your Learning Journey login. So you'll log back into the AAC Learning Journey to get that certificate of attendance. We talked about the handouts. We're going to ask that participants chat with us this evening in the chat box. I'll be monitoring that. And then at the end of the course, we really do ask that you, whether you participate now or you participate later via the recording, if you'll leave us a feedback survey, that would be great.
All right. My slide would advance. And this is just showing where the feedback survey is. So that's in that same content tab that I just showed. Okay, so we have one participant here with us this evening. So thank you, Shannon. What is your role with AAC? You just wouldn't mind typing in the chat window.
And there should be, down at the bottom of your screen, there should be options starting on the left side for mute or video, but then as you get towards the middle of the screen, there's one that says chat. And if you click on there, it should open a window where you can let us know who you are and your role. Perfect, you got it. So a new SLPA in a public school, awesome. So hopefully this evening we'll get some great ideas for you to use starting tomorrow.
Yes, and Shannon, if you don't mind me asking, did you attend our first kickoff session? If not, that's okay. We should have it posted for you to watch. And for those listening, if you did not watch, that's okay. So the first kickoff is more basic and this one's more intermediate. So if you think that some topics that we discussed tonight are a little bit more difficult for your AAC user, you can go back to the basic or just the first step. It's just called Stepping Stones to AAC Kickoff. You can watch that one. Okay. So AAC is definitely a journey, and this is just a reminder of that your learner might be on the beginning of their journey, and that's awesome. And thank you for being here and watching. If they are a beginner AAC user, but really we just kind of wanted to remind everyone that this takes time. It takes time to develop language. It takes time to develop the skills to use a device fluently. And so just remember that it's a journey and it takes time. And no matter if your AAC user is kind of in a stage 1, only using single words, or maybe they're using complete sentences and having conversations with you, you're welcome on this journey with us. And we're so excited that you're here. Okay. Oh, you were an ABA para. That's awesome, Shannon. I love me some BCBAs and BCABAs. Okay. All right. So today we are going to identify core words and strategies to model during sports and fun activities. So specifically, I'm going to be highlighting some different ideas that you can use to talk about, that you can talk when playing sports with your AAC user, or maybe just even a ball, but these are definitely words that you can use in other settings as well. And this organizational tool, again, can be found in the Learning Journey Content tab. This reference guide can also be found in your Learning Journey Content tab. And this is just a reference sheet for you to refer back to after the training. Okay, so let's start with a ball. And I kind of wanted to talk about why we chose sports for this theme. And I know last time that Christy kind of talked about ball play and other fun activities, and fall is football season. I am not probably as big of a fan of football as Christy is, but I live in Bengals Nation here in Cincinnati. And so we were really proud of our Bengals last year and continue to be. We almost won, almost been since the 80s. So
football is a big deal in Texas. We take
yes,
our football seriously, and it's almost like we have different some people are fans of college football, some are all about Friday Night Lights and high school football, and then others are committed to those Sunday games. But it's for everybody. You're exactly right. And we spend a lot of time talking about football in Texas for sure.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, and not just football. There's so many sports that happen around in the fall. My son just started playing lacrosse. And you can do so many things with the ball. So whether it be a basketball or a football or a soccer ball, sports are for everybody. There's so many different sports nowadays that are being adapted for individuals with varying abilities. And there's the Special Olympics and all kinds of different sports for everybody. So I thought that would just be kind of fun to focus on that topic today. Okay. This is a Unity 84 sequenced low tech board, and you can find this in your handouts as well. I'm going to be going just to maybe like a couple pages deep on this. So what I model later on or what we talk about may not be on this home page, but you can definitely adapt that to wherever your learner is. But these are all core word-based low-tech boards that I'm sharing with you. And then this one is Word Power, is a 96 location low-tech board based on Word Power 60 Basic. So again, we might be going into the actions category here. Might be going a couple pages deep, or some people say a couple hits. Might take 2 hits to get there instead of just 1, but just know that that's kind of that next step into helping your AAC user become more fluent and using more words. And we're also going to be talking about some grammar tonight. So with that, let's talk a bit about morphology and specifically for this evening with these another stepping stones to AAC trainings, we're going to highlight maybe a different structure of language in that kind of intermediate or second step session. So the basic will just focus on single words. And really that next step is looking more at, you know, a stage 3 or 4 or 5. So we really kind of want to look at, especially with this course tonight, present progressive ing. And that when we're talking about present progressive, we're talking about morphology. So if you're not familiar, morphology is the study of morphemes, and a morpheme is the smallest unit of meaning, such as that ing on the end of a verb. So if we say jumping, that would be 2 morphemes, so jump and ing. And there is a great course on morphemes that we have on the PRC site. Not quite sure if it's over on the learning journey yet, but it's called Magical Morphemes. I think there's maybe another word in there, but all I know is my son's in that video. So, and a colleague created it. So it's really great talking about how we can add morphemes. So if you get some inspiration from tonight and you want to dig a little bit deeper into how you can add even more of that grammar structure and those morphemes for your AAC user, you can go watch that video. And as I mentioned, tonight we're going to specifically focus on developing present progressive in those ing verbs. So let me go to the next slide. Okay, so I thought it would be kind of fun to do this live. So sometimes we do a video and sometimes we just kind of do it live, and I thought that would be fun. So let me just, hang on, do this. Can you guys still see my screen okay?
We can, looks good.
Okay. Perfect, okay. So I am using, and Shannon, you, since you are the sole participant, are going to hopefully get a free trial of lesson picks. So just note, if you're listening after the fact, that occasionally we raffle things off. So come to the live session and something might get raffled off to you. But Shannon, I am going to, I have your email. So I am going to talk with our friends at Lesson Picks and hopefully get you a free trial if this is something that you're interested in. So it's a really cool website, and what's cool about it is you can actually put it into PowerPoint and kind of play around with it. So I'll show you some different ways that we can do that. Okay, so what I need from you is, let's thinking about sports and what kind of things can we talk about with sports? Are there different actions or maybe different, what do you think about? Throw, run, okay, great. Love it, fast. Okay, I'm gonna throw this guy in there. So here he is. And we're gonna do run. Oh, logged me out, hang on. So run, play, and get. I love that. Run. This guy is running. And then we'll do get. Kick. Perfect. Get is kind of a more abstract. Can't really, it's hard to represent that one, but this looks good. Or we could even say, if we're,
So yeah, get is hard to think of a picture of. That's definitely one that we can talk through in context. So,
yes. Yeah, so, but that's okay, because then Unity will show you what that word looks like. And I like the word kick too. So even with these few pictures that we have here, maybe we take this guy. Even with these few pictures here, we can still talk about what they're doing, right? So this is kind of where that activity comes in for you and your AAC user. I could say things like, what is the boy doing? Right? He is throwing the ball. He is throwing the ball. Or we could say, this boy is so fast. Look at him kicking the ball. Right? We could put in the word play. And these people are playing with the cars. They are playing. So you can, maybe you want to do soccer or something. Ooh, look at this boy. He is kicking the soccer ball. This boy is kicking a red ball, a big red ball. And this boy is kicking the soccer ball. So we could use our pictures, even if you're doing virtual therapy, and just kind of move them around the screen like that. So that's what I love about this. This is an add-in. For those of you that don't know, if you go to insert, you can get an add-in, and this is the lesson picks add-in. So love this. Okay, so let's go to, so that's how we can do that activity. Now what we're gonna do together is fill out this form. So let me pull that up, because the whole point is for you to walk away with a practical activity with this form filled out, so then you can do it next time. So our motivating activity was, let's just say, playing with a ball. And what was our function of communication that we were targeting? This one, I mean, really we're targeting what? ING verbs, right? Those present progressive, those morphemes. But we could say that the function of communication that we're targeting might be to direct action, maybe direct to stop kicking ball. No kick ball, we could accept or reject. We could share that boy kicking ball, right? So we can share that information with others. We can request for information. Who is kicking the ball? So there's lots of different things different ways that you can target these ING verbs within those functions of communication. Okay, so what are some core words that we kind of talked about just now?
we talked about play for sure. And then one of the things up above, socially, we were talking about a lot of comments. When we were making that board and then talking about the pictures, I feel like that was an activity that you could do a lot of commenting with.
That's right. Yes. So we were talking about play and getting, he is getting the ball. We also talked about fast. That's a great word, or even kick. You know, those verbs that we kind of built in Do we say throw, run?
And run,
Yep, those are all really great words and words that you can easily then transition into using present progressive. So on this aided language input, this is what, let me go back to my PowerPoint here and make sure I didn't miss this. So for aided language input, we want to use open-ended questions and comments to encourage communication. So this would be like, who is kicking the ball? Where did the ball go? Things like that. So if it's an open-ended question is a question that cannot be answered with just a yes or no response. If your AAC learner only responds with one or two word phrase, since we're kind of moving to that next step, you can respond and maybe recast that utterance. So what that might look like is, who is kicking the ball? And the AAC learner just says, him. And then you could say something like, you're right. He is kicking the ball. He is kicking. And you can kind of exaggerate that a little bit. So you're kind of recasting and then expanding on what they said. Okay, so let's go back to our tool here and we're going to fill this in. So we can also, for aided language input, we can also make comments and help if our AAC, again, if our AAC user doesn't respond, maybe we show them maybe what comments to make, and we'll kind of show you this here in a minute. So what are some, so using, let's do the word play as a core word, and maybe kick, and maybe we do run. We can all make those, since we're focusing on that ing. So what are some scripts, you can throw them in the chat window, either a question or a comment that we could use for any of these? Yeah, maybe that comment, I like playing ball. Yeah. Look. Hey,
the boy is playing ball. Yeah.
maybe who is kicking? That's that open-ended question. Who is kicking the ball? Or who is throwing the ball? Yeah, which ball do you like? Yeah, doesn't have to be one of these words. What else? What about running? We could say, again, using the same pattern with a different word is definitely okay. So who is running with the ball, or just who is running? Making it simple for your AAC user, and that repetition is great. That's how they learn. So who is running, who is kicking is totally fine. Or we could say she is running fast, or maybe he is running slow. Where? Yeah, perfect. Where is she running? Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Okay, so this is how you would fill out that form. So this, now you have a copy that you can take with you for future sessions. You can kind of think about what words you want to target with the activity, let the activity dictate those words, and then put your script in for aided language input. So you already have some ideas down, and that's kind of the importance of this, is just to keep it simple. Okay, so let's go back to our form here. And now we're going to find the words. So I am actually going to pull up this, and we're going to do, let's see something here. Sorry for the screen. Just going to trying to do, whoa. Trying to do kind of like a split screen so that you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is my device, and yeah, I know it looks, I don't know if it's gonna, let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, I think that's going to look really good.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is Unity 84 sequenced, and now it is very hard to see. So let's see. If I just focus in a little, that made it worse. All right, well.
When I'm using my camera, I always end up working in the dark. I turn the light off to keep the glare away.
No, it's really bad. Let me see if that helps. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Well, you're gonna get the gist anyway, and you're gonna hear the device talk. Okay, so if I had it all set up and then, you know. Okay, so if we put in our people again, so what can we say? What's our script? If we look at this picture together, we could say something like, and here's where we can model. He, then we can go to our foot because we kick with our feet. He, kicking.
Ball. He kicking ball.
He kicking ball. Maybe I don't use the word is right away because maybe our AAC user isn't there yet. I could model is if we wanted to. Maybe we, what is some of the other words like throw? Ooh, she is throwing the ball. So we could say she throwing.
Throwing.
And then if we wanted to model, so that's Unity, we wanted to model on word power. Go to our people, say she. And then it took me right to my verbs. So we're going to look for throw, which is alphabetical and always difficult for me to find. Okay. Throw. And then she throw the
Play.
ball.
Vowel.
Or we just say, there it is,
Throw.
throwing. The, go to the toys,
Vowel.
throwing ball. So that's how we might model some of those words on our device. Okay. So let me go back to my PowerPoint here. After trying that, what questions do you still have, if any? How do you feel that went? What are some of your next steps? And Shannon, you may not have any questions, and that is totally fine. But I will put up, yes, I like planning ahead and practicing the actions as well. I can model faster, and clearly I need to practice some more because, you know, you can practice as much as you want to, and then in the moment I feel like I always mess up. But that's good for our AAC users to see, right? So they can watch along with us, and that's okay. So thank you so much for joining, Shannon. Look for that email with the trial for lesson pick. So thank you for coming. For those of you watching, if you have questions after watching the recording, please reach out to Christy or I. And we'd be happy to answer your questions.
Oh, and Shannon said it's helpful for a few of her students who are working on core vocabulary to help them set up phrases. That's perfect. That's exactly what we were hoping you would find
Yes.
helpful. That's great.
Yes.
So thanks for being with us, and your attendance certificate will be in the AAC Learning Journey in about 2 weeks. And make sure to join the Stepping Stones groups in November. They're going to be, I think they're going to be talking about pumpkins, right, Brittany?
Yes. Giving them some
Some,
to
or
talk
pumpkin
about.
to talk about. Yep.
So I think that one might be maybe about eating and pumpkins. So I'm not quite sure what they have planned, but it sounds really fun. So yeah, definitely join those here in a couple weeks.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.